It's time for a Distorted View Test of Patience.
Last night, when I looked out in my backyard, I saw a great big light. Me, oh my, and just about the time I thought it must be a dream, I saw a little man with a great big head step out and a great light. We have come to tell the earth to stop building all those dangerous things. Nuclear weapons just won't work. Giant computers losing time. These dangerous tools will bring disaster to your land. And if they do not stop, all the energy will be destroyed and your lights and cars will go out. Please won't you help me tell the leaders of the earth, that the UFOs have come. They say they come to help the earth. They say those dangerous things, like nuclear weapons, and those giant rockets are creating vacuums in our atmosphere. Tell the leaders, so please won't you help me tell the leaders of the earth to stop building all those dangerous things. Leaders of the earth. They say we're getting sick from them all over the land. Poisoning our land. To save our land. Please won't you help me tell the leaders of the earth that the UFOs have come to help us save our land. To help us save our land. UFOs have come to help us save our land. Save our land. And they say the giant computers are losing time. Just won't work. As our mathematics won't be the same soon. Are changing now. Please won't you help me tell the leaders of the earth that the UFOs have come to help us save the earth.
It breaks. It's Wednesday, September 19th, 2018. Coming up on the program today, popping cum balloons, plus hair clipping fetish, death by cheese slices, and walking your near-dead wife around on a leash. All this with your voicemails today on Distorted View Daily.
It's the Distorted View Show with Tim Henson.
It's called Distorted View Daily, and it will rape your mind!
Yes! You heard at the top of the program, little Fran Baskerville, voice of an angel. Not because she sings particularly nice, but because she's dead. She died a while ago. She's also known, or was known, as the singing psychic. So in addition to warning us about computers, she could create songs that would reveal things about your future. It's a weird gift to be given, considering she had very limited musical talent. I interviewed her a few times on Distorted View Daily, like an early incarnation of Distorted View Daily, and the woman was fucking nuts. God bless her. Sweet lady. But she was nuts. She was convinced that she witnessed JFK's death. She said she was on the grassy knoll. And when John F. Kennedy was shot, a piece of his skull landed right by her foot. And then a security guard or a police officer came up and said, "Hey, honey child, you need to move." She loved to tell that story. She sang a song about the grassy knoll.
And Mama's gonna paint a picture one more time on the grassy knoll.
Oh, I'm sorry. The title of this song is The Grassy Knoll. Bitch can't pronounce her L's.
And I was so proud. We were all saying hello until I heard those 4 shots and I saw him slide down in his car. I fell down as tears were coming down my cheeks. And Mama's paint spilled on my toe on the sidewalk by the grassy knoll. And I looked down and I saw Kennedy's skull on the sidewalk by the grassy knoll. And as I bit down, a man in a big black coat and a tall dark hat said, "Move on, honey child."
This album won 7 Grammy Awards. Triple platinum. All right, so listen, I have got a great show for you today. Let's move away from Fran Baskerville. She's been dead for like 20 years. By the way, that test of patience could have been a lot worse. It was only like, 2.5 minutes long? I've got other Fran Baskerville songs. One's called The Vegetable Song, and it's a tale about vegetables from the point of view of the vegetable, from the time it is in the ground to the time that it's being shit out of you and then being used as fertilizer, I think, to create more vegetables or something. Problem is, you can't understand a lot of what Fran is singing about. All right, look, I understand, a lot of people dislike Trump, our president, fearless leader, and they're always trying to, isolate little audio clips of Trump sounding dumb. Sometimes, it's kind of unfair, but this one, does he have a writer? Or is this all just off the fucking cuff? Here he is. This is super short. He's talking about the Hurricane Florence.
This is a tough hurricane. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
How else would it be wet? I've never seen a hurricane of whiskey before. I've seen a tsunami of whiskey come out of my body. That was after a particularly hard night of drinking, but never a hurricane. This reminds me of the John McCain clip when he's talking about bottled water.
We should be able to deliver bottled hot water to dehydrated babies.
That's right. Thirst-quenching, scalding water. Just what those little cunt turds need. In terms of water, this hurricane has given us a lot of wetness. It's kind of what Trump was saying there. He's been pretty distracted the last couple days with the Stormy Daniels thing. Yeah, this hurricane has been very wet in terms of water. Hey, speaking of storms, I don't have Yeti pubes. My dick does not look like a shiitake mushroom. Or Toad from Mario Kart or whatever he said. All right, let's move on. One of you freaks posted an absolute brilliant porn clip in our Discord. I urge you all to check out our Discord. There's a link in the main navigation bar over there, distortedview.com. This is from a website called LunarTube, which is a video site for people who are into balloons and inflatables in general. What we have here is a cam whore who has a really neat setup. We've played clips before where, a cam whore will be using a vibrator on herself, and the vibrator turns on every time someone donates. Or maybe it's like a butt plug or something. Just a way to encourage more people to give money. Well, the girl in this clip has her system rigged up to like an air pump or something. The air pump hose is stuck up through a dildo, right? Right through the dick hole of the dildo. Then she puts a balloon over the dildo. And every time someone donates, the balloon, which is filled with whipped cream or cum or something, inflates a little bit. Eventually, it pops. And that's what these balloon freaks are into. And the girl, of course, is naked, and she's, rubbing her bare ass up against the balloon, and when it finally pops, the cream goes everywhere.
I will ride it.
I guess after the balloon pops, as a thank you, she'll fuck herself. So here we go. The first donations have come in.
Look what you did. Oh, Lord.
The cock bounces around as it's being inflated. Well, the cock isn't being inflated, but the balloon that's on top of it. She's, secured it with a rubber band. You can see the whipped cream or some sort of white liquid in there. This is a brilliant marketing ploy, right? If you want to see her covered with cream, if you want to see the balloon pop, you got to donate, and you can actually see the balloon inflating every time someone donates. Builds up some anticipation. And then, if you were on the fence about donating, you see this balloon getting so big, you're like, oh, I'll just donate a few bucks. Get this fucking thing going. Would you guys pay for this? If I filled a balloon up with cum, right, and then inflated it, would you donate money until it exploded all over my face or something? I'd do that. titties are hanging out.
Shinky! You blew it so hard!
By the way, there's like cream all over the walls from like previous explosions.
You know what time it is. It's time to ride it.
Yep. The penis is like covered in whipped cream.
Oh, Vika Dulce! No! Oh my god. Dutch Master. Oh.
Is this the new economy experts are always talking about? Is this part of the gig economy? I drive part-time for Uber. My other job is inflating balloons and popping them on my pussy. Well, I've got, a lot of nasty porn clips today. We'll get back into that in a second. Let's take a break, a breather. Adrian Bronner, or something, I guess he's a boxer. He terrorized his Uber driver recently. Have you heard about this? He filmed it. Take a listen.
Chris.
Up that shit, bro.
Can we turn up a little bit?
Go back, bro.
Right, he's making his Uber driver turn up the music.
I went back.
Go back.
He's screaming right in the Uber driver's ear. He looks like a little Indian dude or something.
School, I used to bust it to the dance. Now I hit the FBO with duffels in my hands. I did half a zen, 13 hours till I land. Have it out like a light, hey. Like a light, hey. Like a light.
The Uber driver has stopped the car, unbuckled his belt, and he's getting out.
Hey, what is that?
He's like, fuck this Uber shit. I'm done with this. I'm going to focus all my time on balloon fetish porn.
We gotta go a little bit further.
I'm sorry, no.
What?
I can't.
Man, what you be straight? What?
Yeah, the Uber driver's like, you got to get out. I can't handle this.
You have to leave my vehicle.
We gotta go a little bit further.
I'm sorry, no.
What?
I can't.
Man, what you be straight? What?
Screeching idiot. All right, so now that we've cleansed the palate, that's how we're going to handle the top of the show here today. We'll play a porn clip, and then a non-porn clip, and then a porn clip, and a non-porn clip. Here is another unique fetish, from looning to clipping. Apparently, some guys get off to cutting women's hair, like really destroying their hair. I think this is a power thing, or just they like to hear women cry, because this guy basically gives this woman a buzz cut.
You ready for a haircut?
No!
My haircut?
Yeah, don't you think it's kind of weird you're sitting in a chair surrounded by, like, shaving cream, razor blades, clippers? You had to have realized this is not a normal porn set. I think this is from a website called clippershave.com.
You okay?
Crying. Your hair is not that pretty. It's got no volume. You need some VO5 hot oil treatment.
You're allowed to cry, but you can't cover your face.
Yeah, she's kind of bawling into her face, and that's really half the fun, is seeing her cry.
You okay?
Guy doesn't care. Continues to prep. Well. What a fetish, man. So this is the very first part. You can hear that he turned on the clippers. What he has done is he's cable tied, like using one of those plastic ties, her hair around like the base of her neck. And her hair goes all the way down her back. So like from her shoulders down, that's where it has been tied off. And he's going to, I guess, just cut it off in one quick swoop. Boom. Now she's got more of a bob. And she has to stare at herself in the mirror the whole time. You like the way you look, honey?
Okay, you ready?
A horror film.
You're shaving it all off. Really?
No one apparently went over what was happening today with her. Breaking down. You're going to look like G.I. Jane.
I'll just get it over with.
How much could she have gotten paid to do this? I'm guessing it was a decent amount of money, probably about the same that you would get in a porn scene. And the guy who was describing it was like, look, you're not even going to have to fuck anyone. You're going to get naked. We're going to play with your hair. And then we'll give you $500 or $1,000 or whatever it is. Yeah. So he is completely shaved off her head, or, buzzed it.
There's no way you can give me a wig.
Well, now you want a wig?
One place we can go today if you want to.
Thanks. Well, I can't pay for it, but...
I'll pay for it.
Should give her one of those Bozo the Clown wigs. Oh yeah, I'll buy you a wig, but I get to choose. A male toupee or something. Zoom in on her, for Christ's sake. You want her to cry. The last part of the video is where he lathers her up, puts shaving cream on, and he's going to actually shave her. I don't think she can get through the scene. Boy, if you like to see bald women cry, this is the fetish for you. That or chemo porn, because that's kind of what she looks like. All right, I have got a clip here of a sovereign citizen. One of these guys that thinks they can outsmart the cops. And I actually think it's the passenger who's the Freemason. The guy driving just wants to get this over with. Did I say Freemason? I mean sovereign citizen, whatever. The cop is just pulling this guy over because his lights weren't on, and it's nighttime.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Hello, Hey, the reason I'm stopping you, you're driving with no headlights on. It's nighttime.
Oh, my headlights.
Give your license real quick. Thanks.
So the driver hands over the license. Meanwhile, the passenger...
You still live on Silver Oak?
That's in Columbus. I live here.
Your driver's license says Silver Oak.
The guy going, is just waiting to spout some sovereign citizen nonsense.
All constitutional rights invoked, none waived.
What?
I don't know what that means.
All constitutional rights invoked, none waived means that we are under the federal jurisdiction of the federal local government and the federal 42 U.S.C. 1983.
What the fuck? That's gibberish, right? You just said two different things. The federal local.
The federal local government and the federal...
Wait, hold on, I gotta see. What does he say?
I don't know what that means.
All constitutional rights invoked, none waived means that we are under the federal jurisdiction of...
We're under the federal jurisdiction...
The federal local government and the federal 42 U.S.C. 1983. So we are not under the jurisdiction of the state or your local law.
So you think that that's okay to drive with no headlights on all night?
Well, what I'm advising you...
Well, what I'm advising you is you're a passenger, so I really don't care what you say. I'll be right back with you, okay?
I didn't even notice my headlights were off. I didn't either. But he missed the point though. Yeah, he did. He did. He said he don't know what that means. Is that real? They really don't know? I guess not.
You're talking fucking crazy. Of course he doesn't know what you mean.
All right, here's your...
I am invoking the federal jurisdiction of the federal local. I am a federal local inhabitant, localized, but federal.
License back.
All right, just to let you know, all constitutional rights invoked none the way. That's
Dude,
it.
I'm just giving you a warning. Turn your headlights on after dark.
Okay, thank you, sir.
See you later.
Thank you. Take care. Yeah. He found out.
No, he didn't. Yeah. He got wise to us. He knew he couldn't give us a ticket. No. Turn your fucking lights on.
He found out. He found out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. He got schooled today. We won. Cop 0. Free, local, federal, sovereign citizens 1. Booyah. All right, and with that, let's get into the crazy, bizarre, twisted, and fucked up news right now. If you're not a member of the Distorted View Sideshow, please consider signing up, supporting this nonsense. I do this show every single day. Some episodes, though, are just for paying freaks. Yesterday was a Sideshow exclusive one. Tomorrow I'll be doing another Sideshow exclusive podcast. Plus, when you sign up for the Sideshow, you get full access to the entire archive of programs, 3,000 shows. There's other things to look forward to as well. Videos, exclusive videos. In the past, I've done mini programs, weekend shows, that type of stuff. Sign up, become a true and honorable freak today. Membership's very inexpensive, only $6.99 a month, even less when you opt for a quarterly, semi-annual, yearly, or lifetime membership. Other ways to support the show, maybe you can't afford $6.99 a month. That's okay. You can always pledge $1 or $2 to our Patreon account, patreon.com/distortedview. If you pledge a few dollars my way, you get access to a special voicemail line just for patrons. I will play your calls first. I'm usually like a month behind on the voicemail calls, but patrons, I will play your call as soon as they come in. I mean, the exception, of course, is that crazy lady that calls into the program. She's not a patron, but if I see her phone number come up, I'm playing her call. As a matter of fact, she called in after I left a message for her on, when was it, the Monday show? Yeah, Monday show, we played her original call. I left a message for her, and she called back. So if you want to hear that, sign up for the sideshow. It's more of the same, although she got her husband involved. This last one. I've called her back a few times, but she's not leaving me a message, and I guess I can't really call her too much more. Otherwise, that's like harassment, right? I can get in trouble for that. Although she was the one to initially call me. She started this. All right. 3 very quick stories now. First up, a 13-year-old boy has died. No, inappropriate reaction, studio audience. Let's try this again. A 13-year-old boy has died. It's a little more appropriate. That is the act break music from Saved by the Bell when something serious has happened. Although this is more than serious, this is sad. For that, we're going to have to turn to the Golden Girls. A 13-year-old boy has died! Yeah, that's better, more appropriate. He died, this is the second part of that sentence. The boy died because someone threw cheese at him! Yeah, there's that signature Distorted View Daily shocking twist! All right. A London schoolboy died from an allergic reaction after he allegedly had cheese thrown down his shirt. He must really be lactose intolerant. Oh, boy. Karen Burchima, 13, was taken to the hospital after suffering a cardiac arrest at William Perkin Church of England High School in Greenford, over there in the UK. On June 28th of last year, he died 10 days later. I'm sorry, but if I could not enjoy cheese, I wouldn't want to live. The teenager was in a state of anaphylactic shock. Well, don't you just need one of those EpiPens? Right? After suffering cardiac arrest, he was found by emergency services at the school. Kieran Opot, the first paramedic on the scene, said he was told by school staff that perhaps someone had chased the patient with cheese. Kids can be so cruel. This story is not just about sadness and death. It's also about bullying. Talk about a very special episode. We're hitting all the marks today. That was from Blossom, by the way. Yeah, the working theory, because, kids typically don't have cheese down their shirts, is that a kid chased him and threw the cheese down his shirt. He appeared to be in a state of pre-arrest. He had very slow respirations. He was gasping for air. He appeared to be suffering from an allergic reaction. His skin was red, and there appeared to be hives. The 13-year-old was severely allergic to wheat, gluten, all dairy products, eggs, and all nuts. All right, I'm going to say something here. It's going to sound pretty harsh. But this kid was never meant to survive. If he was an animal in the wild with these problems or similar problems, his mother would have left him to die. The baby animal would never survive on its own. It's only by the grace of science and medicine that he made it to 13. Now, I don't know about these allergies, but could he pass that down on to his kids? Let's say he lived and procreated. Would his kids have these same problems, or would they be more likely to have these problems? If so, we really need to take a hard look at who we're allowing to have kids full term. Because this shit should not be allowed. Despite treating the teenager with Piriton, an inhaler, and a special pen used for injections in the case of anaphylactic shock, the kid continued to struggle. Mr. Oppett requested additional support when the boy went into cardiac arrest. He and his colleagues began to perform CPR on the 13-year-old, gave him adrenaline, and also used a defibrillator while they waited for backup to arrive. When additional emergency services arrived, Karenbar was taken to Great Ormond Street Hospital, where he died on July 9th. His mom said her son had learned how to successfully manage his allergies. I guess the wild card there is other children. That's something you can't anticipate. They're very unpredictable. Fucking teenagers. I am devastated as a mother after losing my son, and my family have lost their brother, she said. He was extremely bright. He knew very well how to manage his condition. I brought him up myself. I trained him to read all about his condition. We want answers. Another schoolboy, also 13 at the time, was initially arrested on suspicion of attempted murder, but he hasn't been charged. Detective Sergeant Christian Rogers, explaining a list of potential witnesses with the coroner ahead of the inquest, said the alleged throwing of cheese had been pupil on pupil. More like Gouda on skin, am I right? Lots of sound effects today. The person involved is no longer at the school. The inquiry, it's a hard word to say for no one except for me because I'm a retard, is ongoing. So there you go. Second story we have for you today. Oh, nice. A full-on transition to the second story. A man was arrested at a Pennsylvania fair. Is that how you pronounce that? Pennsylvania? For using a dog leash to walk his wife. And to be fair, the husband said the wife was quite a bitch. All right, Walter William Wolford, Sr., 66, of Hagerstown, was charged with one count of simple assault at the York Fair on Saturday after a witness told police they saw Wolford leading his wife, Catherine Wolford, around the fairgrounds with a red nylon dog leash about 8 feet long. Well, that gave her plenty of slack. What's the problem? Also, the fairs and parades I go to, it's not that unusual to see people in harnesses or leashes, or people being pissed on, or blowjobs out in public, vats of lube on sidewalk. I guess we're going to different types of fairs. All right, so what's the deal here? Well, at one point, Wolford was spotted yanking the leash, causing his wife's head to move backwards and for her to sustain red marks around her throat area. Responding cops noted Catherine's condition as she was being treated by medical personnel at the fair. She was very disoriented, did not know where she was, her own name, and spoke in gibberish. Oh, why is there not audio of that? That's according to West Manchester Township Police in a report. Wolford told police he took his wife to the fair last year without a leash, but she misbehaved, shat all over the place, bit a stranger. She needs to get fixed, I think is the problem. Yes, Wolford told police he took his wife to the fair last year without a leash, but she wandered away from him, prompting the idea to restrain her. Walter told me that he originally placed the leash around her waist, but somehow it moved up around her neck. Sure. And when she walked away from him, all of the slack became taut. He gently tugged on the leash so she would stop. Wolford said his wife suffers from late-stage dementia. Well, I don't think she can really enjoy the fair then at this point. It sounds to me like you really wanted to go to the fair, but you're stuck taking care of your dumb, mush-brained wife, so you decided to, take her along with you. Tie her up. Leash. He should have just left her, like tied to a post or something. This really was about his enjoyment. He wanted to go to the fair. She would have just as much fun staring at a wall. You know what I mean? All right, Wolford said Saturday marked the third time he used the leash on his wife. The first time she didn't like it, so I didn't do it again. Really? Because it happened 2 more times. 6 months later, I tried it on her at a carnival. And it worked okay. This was the third time, and I was just trying to keep her from running away from me. That's all. Wolford insisted that he's not a monster, He says, I love my wife more than anything in the world, but it's very difficult to take care of someone with severe dementia. They're making me out to be a monster, but hurting my wife is the last thing I wanted to do. So there you go. Very sad story. Oh, still doing the transitions, I guess. Final story we have for you today. So can lobsters feel pain? You know when you put a live lobster in a boiling pot and they start screaming? It was always explained to me that, they're not really screaming. It's just the boiling water hitting the cold lobster shell and it's producing noise or something. I don't know. It always seemed a little fishy to me. Yeah, that one was pretty bad. I know lobsters aren't fish. Anyway, one Maine restaurant isn't taking any chances. Oh, they're still going to cook lobster. Boil those motherfuckers. But they're going to get the lobsters stoned first to help ease the pain. Yes, to help ease the pain of lobsters before they're cooked alive, one Maine restaurant has decided to get them high on marijuana. Charlotte Gill, the owner of Charlotte's legendary Lobster Pound in Southwest Harbor, said that she came up with the idea of getting lobsters stoned because she wanted to kill the crustaceans in a humane manner. The animal is already going to be killed, Gill said. It's far more humane to make it a kinder passage. I wonder if that affects the taste. If I then eat the lobster, will I get stoned? Is it a lobster edible? Oh, that sounds delicious. A lobster roll. A lobster blunt. For those wondering, recreational use of marijuana was legalized in Maine earlier this year. Gill, who said her restaurant was, quote, created on love, explained that she tested her idea out on a lobster, which she put in a box with some water before blowing smoke inside. For 3 weeks, she said, the lobster seemed sedated from the weed. That lobster, named Roscoe, had a more easygoing temper and was let back into the ocean. This is kind of cruel because you basically turned the lobster into a pothead and then released him into the ocean where he will never be able to find that delicious sticky icky ever again. Primo Kush is a land delicacy. Anyway, this bitch's goal now is to get more lobsters stoned. She said that her plan is all about setting a good example for her son. Okay. I've made enough mistakes in my 47 years that I want to make sure that every action moving forward is one I can live with, and also to show my son that his mom stands for what she believes in, getting lobsters stoned. This world has enough pain and suffering as is. It's time to make it a better place, and I'm going to do my part by starting here with this one thing. Gill says the lobsters are cooked to 420 degrees. I had to double check and make sure that this is not like one of those fake news sites like the Babylon Bee or The Onion or whatever. She cooks her lobsters at 420 degrees, and that the THC, the psychoactive component of marijuana, breaks down at 392 degrees. So all the good stuff is cooked away. Still, some people are concerned. One person left a comment on the restaurant's Facebook page writing that she's concerned that some THC could remain stored in a lobster and then show up on a drug test that she might have to take for work. The company wrote that they had someone eat the lobster and then take a drug test to see what happened. Wow, these people are very thorough. We've tested several times in order to account for a variety of heat variables, and the individual still continues to test negative for THC. What a waste of time all of this is. Every single thing that has happened in this news story is a waste of time. Others like the idea. Hey, why not let them go out feeling good? One person wrote. Despite some pushback, Gill said that she's just happy to make the experience easier for the lobsters she cooks. I feel bad that when lobsters come here, there's no exit strategy. I've really been trying to figure out how to make it better. So there you go. Killing lobsters with compassion. That, my friends, is your distorted news for Wednesday. Let's do a couple voicemails and get the hell out of here. Here's my impression of Jennifer Aniston. Ross! The work in progress. Love to hear from you guys. 206-666-4463. That's our voicemail line. Other ways to contact the show. show@distortedview.com. That's my email address. I'm all over social media @distortedview on Twitter and Instagram. And Facebook.com/distortedviewshow. All right, I have got a few voicemails I want to play. No Patreon calls today. These are all month-old calls from our regular voicemail line.
Hey, faggot. It's Anime Dad.
Yeah, I'm the faggot. Anime Dad.
Came in just to tell you, like, I met a fucking rock singer. Like, on Instagram. She's like a fucking... Like,
wait, you met a rock star on Instagram. So you didn't really meet him. I follow Tom Hanks on Twitter. Doesn't mean we're besties, you know? Right.
Rock singer. Like, on Instagram. She's like a fucking... Like, she's part of a band called the Trench Dogs.
Never heard.
She's super fucking cool.
Hot.
But I didn't meet her unless I posted something about Distorted View on Instagram. This was like years ago, so it's not really relevant anymore. And I might have called in about it back when I was like Semen Vape or whatever the fuck that stupid ass name was. But yeah, also that person following about the Fortnite burger, that was my girlfriend. She's been getting in the show because I was playing in the car, and she really likes your show.
Cool.
She likes you even though you're a big fucking faggot, so yeah. Bye, Timmy Boo.
All right, well, thank you. I guess for the recap of your life, I'm not really sure what the point was at the beginning about that rock star from the trench coats.
Hey, Timmy Boo, this is Greg. I called in because I spent about half a year in rehab.
Like half my listeners go to rehab. You're not that special. Speaking of which, where is Dank Tim at?
Doing Percocet, that evolved into heroin.
Oh, no.
Next thing I knew, I was dead in the street with a needle in my arm. No, I'm just kidding. I never OD'd. But yeah,
you were a responsible heroin user.
A whole bunch of credit cards and had a lot of debt now.
Is that how you signed up for the sideshow? Was that with a stolen credit card?
I just calling to say that I went down to Florida and
screaming at me.
Yeah, I kind of lived in Palm Beach, Florida. So fuck you, Timmy.
No, fuck you. Fuck you.
Fuck you if you're not from Palm Beach County.
What a weird batch of voicemails we have today.
What's up, Timmy Wingalicker Henson? It's Rick from Baltimore.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah, I'm doing fine, Tim.
Oh.
No, actually, I have a question. Two of them, actually, that maybe you or one of the other careless fairies out there can answer. It has to do with the whole LGBTQ, whatever.
Yeah,
anyway.
You're asking the wrong guy. I can already tell you that. But okay, I'll do my best. I've got to, be a good representative, a good spokesperson for my people.
The whole list, and there is the official updated list, ends with K, which is kink.
Really? So now anyone who has a fetish or a kink is part of this ever-expanding community?
Which is a sexual preference. What the fuck is kink?
I guess if you're into nipple torture, that would be like a kink. You're officially a faggot.
Pretty kinky shit.
I don't know. I feel like they need to just shorten that list.
And what the fuck? Also,
there should be a purging of that list. There should be a reality show, right? And all of the groups have to make their case to be included as included in the acronym. I mean, L and G and I guess B should be in there. They're like OG, to use another acronym. Although L and G are really the same fucking thing, just different genders. To be honest with you, I think we should cut off before we get to T. I think it should be LGB. T is a whole other thing. I'll support the T's, but they should go off and do their own thing, start their own group. What is Q? Is Q questioning? If it's questioning, maybe it should be in the L and the G and the B. Maybe it should be LGBTQ, because that's I'm questioning whether I want to suck dick, or if that grosses me out as a man. I'm questioning. You're on the fence about being gay. That's in the same genre, right? The same area. I don't know. I don't know what intersex means. Does that mean you've got two different body parts?
What is the
pussy and
difference between being gay and being queer?
Oh, is that what Q is? See, I don't know. I don't know.
The same thing.
Oh, it's so confusing.
And I've talked to some bisexual friends and gays that I know, and nobody seems to know.
Of course not. No one knows. Unless you're that type of person, you don't know what it means.
So I thought maybe someone out here in DV land would know.
Yeah, someone who's listening, can you break it down for us, please?
Love the
School
show.
me.
Get AIDS, Fairy.
And also, if you are a T, call and plead your case. Why should you be included with the L's and the G's? Maybe only certain T's should be in the group. If you are, whatever you end up as, right? If you are, like, if you were born with male parts or whatever, but then you became a woman, but then you're, like, dyking around, right? You're a scissor sister. Then you could be part of because you're technically an L at that point. You're a woman banging another woman. But if you become a woman and then only date guys or only attracted to guys, well, then I'm sorry. You're straight at this point. You're a T straight. I don't know. We got to overhaul this entire system. Freaks, we got our work cut out for us. All right, that is all the time we have on this edition of the show. Want you guys to email me, show@distortedview.com. Distortedview.com is our official website. Voicemail line for you at 206-666-4463. That's 206-660. Oh, God, is it? Oh, God. Spread the distortion, STD. Tell all your friends about the podcast. Don't forget to rate us and review us on iTunes. I will see you back tomorrow if and only if you are Sideshow members. Otherwise, I will be back on Friday to end the week. Until then, have a great day. Bye, everybody.
If you gonna suck a dick, then you suck a dick.